Bitcoin has seen some explosive price action since last time I've talked to you guys here. I believe last video I was actually doing a live stream and I would have shared that with you guys. So thumbs up if you appreciate that because man, we nailed some bullish calls there, obviously. I was talking about the fact that even though this trend was already starting to look a little overextended, just because of honestly bear market PTSD, it just didn't seem like we could climb for very long. But I was mentioning that even though we were seeing some bearish divergences and that sort of thing, we did get this beautiful engulfing bullish candle. And then we actually ended up respecting that resistance as support. And that was all happening while I was live. And we actually did get a part of this pump while we were live. So again, if you were a part of that, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment. That was just a great stream. We had a lot of fun, a lot of engagement. But yeah, this is basically where I was calling that, I was not willing to bet against the bulls. I was not willing to look for a short or anything like that. And that was just because of this big engulfing candle. The fact that we closed above these wicks here and then got that perfect respect, it just looked beautiful. Also closing above this resistance back here. So just all in all, things were looking quite juicy to me. And you can see that from there, we just kept creating higher lows. We would just, we'd set a higher high. So at that point, between those 2 points, this would have been our higher low. Obviously never came close to breaking that structure, set a new higher high, we had a new higher low here, obviously never came close to breaking that structure either. And now same thing, we just have this higher high up here. Our structure, the way I'm looking at it, is this would be the level that we want to hold before kind of breaking that structure. Yes, that is quite a ways to the downside. That you're looking at closer to 18.7k, somewhere in there would be a level of interest for me to see if the bulls would step in if we drop to those levels. But as it stands right now, we are just kind of just in a bit of a tight range here. This is the 4-hour chart. I would say we're just in this kind of a range between this red and purple line here. I'm gonna have to see which way candle bodies start closing and see which way we're going to go from there. See if we just get some sort of a big BART pattern here and come right back down. I think the bulls would lose a lot of confidence if that were to happen. But the way it stands, the trend is your friend until the end. So maybe we are just having some time-based consolidation here, time-based correction rather than correcting to the downside. We're just correcting sideways and just getting ready to have this bit of a continuation pattern. So like I said, I still am not willing to bet against the bulls. I'm not willing to short. I am more than okay if we dump off a cliff here. I'm okay with the gains I made on longs in this area, that I'm willing to wait for some sort of long setup again. So I'm just personally not willing to short. Some people are better at shorting than longing, so by all means do your own research, form your own opinions. You do what works for you. I'm just saying that the bulls have a lot of momentum right now, and I'm kind of scared to bet against them at this point. That being said, totally could see a bit of a pullback. We obviously do have this resistance. We're flirting absolutely perfect with it here. So a little bit of a correction wouldn't be all too unforeseen, I suppose. As well, we do have some more resistance up ahead. And the level that I'm watching that's actually more of my level of interest is way up at 25k. I'm not saying we have to get to that level, but if I just zoom out here, actually you can even see it on the 4-hour here, just kind of looking at market structure the same way, right? Is if we had this low back here, we never actually broke it until way over here. So what's our highest point between those two lows? Would be this level right here. So this is the level I'm actually watching on a daily time frame as far as lower high structure goes. I would like to see the bulls be able to get above that, but obviously I think there's going to be some time between now and then, but I really wouldn't be too surprised to end up seeing those levels before we get any sort of a crazy correction. Again, maybe we do something like this and start trading higher. Who knows? I just want to put that level on your radar, is that 25k. That, the bulls do have some momentum right now. We do have this big W here. This is even on a daily chart here. I mean, on a daily, we obviously have a ton of momentum here. And if that's kind of the level that I'm looking at as far as a major resistant level goes, I think it is up there. Obviously, this one I do think is important. I believe that if we break this level, since it is a major level on a daily as well, I think that could really generate some FOMO and really send us up towards that 25k. So I think if we are able to actually break above this 21.5k and flip that into support, I really do think it's only a matter of time until we test all the way up towards 25k. And I know that sounds ridiculous right now because things seem overextended, and honestly they are a little overextended. But those are just some levels I wanted to point out to you guys. Just going back to the 4 hour here, I'll bring up my indicators, the MDX Algo 3 indicator here. Another thing that I was pointing out before this pump was a few things that this indicator was saying is with this engulfing candle, we also had this, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little blue triangle there. That's a potential market bottom there. So that it showed that, and these green boxes, these support boxes or demand boxes, I just like to refer to them as support boxes, and I made them green just because that's how I like to map out support basically. But I was showing that this indicator was showing a ton of support below us, so that was another thing to be considered, and it's another thing to be considered right now. Even though once again we feel way overextended, there is still a lot of people shorting this market. And that is going to give us fuel to go higher because the most people are going to get hurt in this market. So the way it is right now is everyone, I mean, it's no surprise. So many people were saying we had to drop to 10K or we had to drop to 14K, whatever. Yes, they were absolutely a possibility. But there was a lot of people stuck with that mindset who would not look at anything differently. So a lot of people missed this move, and a lot of people who missed this move are going to be upset about it. Their emotions are going to get the best of them, and they are going to be desperate to short the top, and they are going to short all the way up. And anytime that retail is willing to short on the way up, that's really just giving the big players big money in the space that liquidity, and they are just eating those people up, and they are just providing fuel to this run by shorting. So the more the retail is shorting and trying to catch that top, I think the more chance that we do climb a little bit higher. You can see that the indicator here is also mapping up a ton of resistance, basically between, what is this, 23.3 and 25k. So this indicator is agreeing with me. That's a beautiful thing about these indicators. Yes, obviously, any indicator is just that. Obviously, you want to do your own analysis and form your own opinions and get confluence from indicators. But I find this MDX Algo 3 just lines up with the way I like to map out resistance and support and stuff so well. I just absolutely love these indicators. I honestly don't think that I would ever day trade without them again. Just on the shorter time frames, it's just so convenient having it constantly map things out for you. This trend confluence, you can get into these really degenerate time frames, like I'm on the 5 minute right now. But this squiggly line down here, this is the 1 hour trend confluence. So we can get a decent view of the market trend on a longer time frame, such as an hour. I know that's a very small time frame for a lot of people, but I like to scalp smaller time frames. I like to trade smaller time frames. So an hour is kind of what I like to trade on, but when I look at the 5 minute with that hourly trend confluence, then I can basically be trading the 1 hour chart, but picking entries on a smaller time frame, really zoning in to get as close of an entry as you can, tighter stop losses, all that kind of stuff. So this hourly trend confluence has been amazing as far as providing a little bit of confluence here. I'm just gonna clean things up a little bit. I'm gonna get rid of everything other than the trend confluence here. And another cool thing is now we see the daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly highs and lows on the chart. So this indicator really just does a great job of showing us basically we can look at longer trends no matter what we're looking at, whatever time frame we're looking at. Does a good job of giving you an overall view of the market, so that's super cool. But yeah, guys, like I said, this is just a 5 minute chart here, and look how accurate that trend confluence has been on this whole trend. I mean, basically anytime you're getting near that green squiggly line, generally a good time to enter. So this might be one of those times where, you know, indicators are starting to catch up to the price here. and maybe actually willing to give us some support again. Just another reason why I'm not willing to bet against the bulls right now is because, yes, we did very briefly end up flipping this indicator from green to red. It flipped a little bit bearish, but we immediately got back above. So the bulls do seem like they're in control to me, and I just don't really want to bet against them at this point, even if we do see some kind of a pullback. Let's check out the 15-minute, just see how the trend confluence looked with that. Yeah, kind of same thing, you guys. Like, just really cool how you can see the confluence of a longer trend on these time frames. Here I can actually, another thing you can do now with these indicators, so if I turn the signals on, I tend to keep them off just because I like to do my own analysis and judgment calls when I am looking to enter a position. But with this trend confluence and filter setting, the filter feature rather checked there, it'll basically cut out all of the noise and only give you the trades for the direction that it's trending. So I mean, these entries, if you look at this is a 15-minute. This indicator has obviously been quite profitable. Go to the 5-minute. Same thing, obviously there's just going to be a ton of long signals in there. So very cool when you get those the confluence and those I guess verifications, or just the, yeah, I guess just the confidence when you see this indicator lining up with your own analysis and going with the trend like this. You get these strong buy signals when you're getting close to that longer confluence, and man, that can really be a powerful thing. So if you guys are at all interested in trying these indicators, I always do have a referral link down in my description. I'll leave it in the comments as well. I believe you get a 15% discount or something like that if you use the referral link, so that's pretty cool. And on top of that, something else that's good with being in that. It's not just the indicators, guys. There's also a group in a private Discord where there's a lot of active traders, some much more educational than myself. There's some very good traders in there with a lot of experience. Very cool to be a part of that community. And also just things like this. I mean, I know MDX was in there the other day. MDX Crypto, obviously it's his group. He was mentioning this XPT or TAP. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about it if you've been on Twitter and stuff like that. I was able to get in at this level down here about 2 weeks ago or so. Because it was mentioned in his Discord. He talked about it there. So, I mean, that's just you get some really cool insights being in that group, some very good opportunities. So it is much more than just the indicators. So again, you do what you want, but I just want to throw it out there. If you do like these indicators and what they kind of show here, just all I wanted to mention was make sure you get involved with that community as well, because there's a ton of value there as well, obviously. Other than that, guys, things are looking quite good in my opinion. You know, I've been bullish for a little while now. This is my weekly chart here. I've been pointing out this horizontal green support line here. Once again, we just never got those candle bodies closing below that line. The candle bodies just, well, we got the wicks just below, but the bodies were closing right on top. We got this warning the reversal warning rather. And this is a weekly, you guys, so there's a ton of data here. And just to see us bounce off that with this RSI breakout, the oscillator 5 showing bullish divergences back here. It was a little early there, but, you know, just the warning signs are there. So I absolutely think there's grounds for a very nice rally here. We've already had a very nice rally, but I do think there could be some gas left in the tank. But again, just be cautious when you're moving ahead, because there is obviously resistance up ahead. We've been in a downtrend for such a long time. The daily is showing us at resistance here. So like I said, a pullback wouldn't be all too, well, it wouldn't catch me off guard all too much. But that being said, I'm just not willing to put my money on that bet, and I'm not willing to short that on a gut feeling kind of a thing. So I'd rather look for the long side after a bit of a retrace, if anything. I mean, speaking of that trend confluence, this is the daily chart. So the trend confluence here is actually the 3-day chart. And the fact that those just crossed too, I mean, you saw what the trend confluence can do on those shorter time frames. Just once we start to see this on these longer time frames, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to watch what happens here. even up here, what is this, on the 4 hour chart here, you can see I also have this up here, just another part of the indicator, just to keep at a very quick glance, see what the entire market trend is kind of doing. You can see the 4 hour, well, the indicator is suggesting long, we're bullish. The daily is also long and bullish, and the weekly has flipped to bullish, not a long signal yet. But that's what happens when trends change, you guys. You generally have the shorter time frame starts to flip, and then that'll turn into the medium term starting to flip, and then the longer time starting to flip. I mean, the weekly is starting to flip here, guys. There's definitely room to the upside, in my opinion. Again, none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research, form your own opinions. I'm just kind of showing what the charts are telling me, and just basically nothing has to happen. I know it always feels like we have to have a pullback. We have to hit lower prices. The market doesn't have to do shit, and it doesn't give a damn about our feelings or anything. So obviously, yeah, we just have to play the charts as they come. And as it stands right now, I'm leaning a little bullish for now. So other than that, friends, I think that's about all I need to rant at you about today. It's just been a little while, so figured I'd bring a video to you. And yeah, with that, stay safe, my friends. Again, if you appreciated this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. With that, I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.